I'm so excited. Here we are, and I think we're going to laugh together. We're going to have a good time. I'm going to learn about you, Ashley, and the Fame Lady Squad. And yay, I'm clapping right now. I've been looking forward to this of so many of these interviews that I have going on. So please introduce yourself to me. Let me know a bit about your background. I am genuinely interested.
Yeah, a little bit about me. My name is Ashley. Most people, if they do know me at all, they know me as Board Becky on Twitter. Why Board Becky? Board Becky is my ape, and I was kind of planning on exploring the NFT space as Becky and kind of joining in on all the degen fun outside of my real life stuff. In real life, I'm in real estate. I'm an entrepreneur. I sit on boards. I do all that. I've been thinking a lot about innovation, blockchain, smart contracts, utility of smart contracts, especially in the realm that I play in, which is mostly real estate. And so, I thought, you know what, this NFT space seems really cool. I got in early in May this year and bought my first NFT, bought Becky, which I was very, very excited about. Fast forward just a short little bit, bought some Fame Ladies, and lots of people kind of know the story. Fame Lady Squad was positioned as the first all-female generative avatar project on the Ethereum blockchain, which it is, but it was also positioned to be a project put forward by all-female team, which totally it wasn't. Came to light that it was a bunch of guys kind of taking advantage of the diversity that we're hoping to find in the space. But most of the community members were really in it for that reason. They really wanted to support women in the space. And when this all kind of happened, me and a couple others got put front and center just because of some happenstance, some coincidence, some good luck, and ended up becoming the smart contract owners for the Fame Lady Squad project. So it still is the first all-female generative avatar project in this space, which we're very, very excited about. And we've just been taking the last couple months figuring out, what does this mean for our community? What does this mean for our project? We started with pretty modest means with no funds because we didn't sell out the original launch of our 8,888 beautiful, fierce ladies. But we're figuring it out, and we've had some donations from some pretty epic teams, which is very exciting, and it's given us a bit of a foundation. We've had the support of the community up until now to really start figuring things out. We kind of did a relaunch. We had a low-hanging fruit type of roadmap, which we're about to complete, which we're super excited about. And we're so excited to be coming to NYC as a sponsor and to be meeting everyone. Because I think in this space, getting to know people getting to know us, getting to love us is going to really impact the project and our success overall in the future. So that's it in a nutshell. We're pretty excited.
I feel like a third base coach. I'm like, just keep going to home. I don't even want to say anything. You're doing it. Just keep talking. But I will ask you this. I'll ask you this because I'm interested. You're part of the Bored Ape Yacht Club.
Yeah.
You're part of the Fame Lady Squad.
Yeah.
As well as, of course, other projects.
Yeah.
What do you like most about the community of those two specific groups? What draws you to engaging with the Bored Apes? What draws you to engaging with the Fame Lady Squad? Like, what is it that you think is like, this is the bright spot of the community of these NFT collectors and community?
I think they actually both offer very similar things. I mean, obviously, I'm not going to be naive. The Bored Ape Yacht Club is in a completely different hemisphere as Fame Lady Squad at the moment, but there are some underlying similarities and parallels and things that actually drew me to both projects to begin with. So number one, which is less fuzzy, I'm going to get into the fuzzy stuff in a second, but number one is really the IP and commercial rights of the art. And I think both offer really cool, badass art that people can get creative with and build brands around, build personalities around, and really do some innovative stuff. That's what got me to pick up Bored Becky when I thought she was a crazy price, just under 2 ETH. And I'm going to hang on to her for a long, long time. And I have big plans for Becky. They've kind of been put on the shelf a little bit as of late, just because of some of the stuff with Fame Lady Squad. But that's what drew me to Fame Lady Squad. That's why I minted. That was the first project I really got it and minted and bought a bunch, just because I saw the opportunity with the very versatile, it's simple art. Like, it's not crazy. But I think it speaks to like comic books, fashion. There's just so many things that I think brands who want to align themselves with this project, I think there's a lot of opportunity. And now, beyond the fact that it's the first all-female generative project, it's also this like got this really cool comeback story of us women saying, don't F with us. Like, no, we're going to create and write our own story, write our own narrative. And I'm hoping that that's actually going to be a big part of our future. So I do think those two projects have some similarities in terms of the opportunities. It's now up to the community, I think, to decide what they want to do and if they care. And I do think that the Bored Apes definitely have started to see that like in real ways. I'm hoping that, I think we need to inform our community a little more, offer them some support, understand how they can use their IP. But we do have like this really active and engaged group of people that we call our community that live in our Discord, live on Twitter, who are like really happy to be rocking their one lady, or that are starting to really collect a variety of traits and things that I know that they're playing around thinking what they're going to do. And just a really good group of people who are excited to be participants in the community. We all as projects go through, I think, the flip and the people looking to make money, and that's part of it. And it's up to us, I think, now as kind of the team leads of this project to say, we got to elevate this brand. We got to make this brand meaningful. We have to make it mean something in culture. That's what we're working on, and really help encourage and support our community to kind of do what they want and have fun and all get to know each other. And it's really like inclusive and kind and kind of crazy. Like, if you go in our Discord at certain hours of the night, it's a little bit less PG than some others. But it's what it's all about. We're a cool group of people. So yeah, loving it.
Because there were some bumps in the road
Mm-hmm.
in Lady Squad. If somebody came to you for advice,
Yeah.
let's say a guy or a group of guys come to you for advice and they say, hey, we have good intentions. I can't speak for what had happened, but if they say, hey, we have good intentions, we want to create something and we're seeking your advice on how do we do it in a way that is transparent, that does actually empower, in this case, women, how might you advise people to not fall into the same pitfalls that had happened, assuming that their intent is good and that they actually want to do things in an honorable way and they want to be successful, and they're trying to balance of, how much do we make ourselves known and how does that interfere? And so how might you tell people, hey, that's a landmine and don't go that direction. This is how you would do that. Can you speak into that a bit for the community?
For sure. I think it's a tough question, because I think that the answer might vary depending on who you're talking to. I do probably lean more towards the, show a little bit about who you are. Like, you need to offer authenticity in one way or another. And it's really tough to do that without being able to be transparent and let people know who you are. Because I think for me, as I'm looking at projects that I want to invest in, the projects might be cool, the art might be great, the roadmap might be really neat, but if I don't really believe in the people behind the project, it's hard for me to buy in any real way. So I think people have to really consider whether they're comfortable doing that. And then also be ready for it, because I think that's a little crazy. Now, if you're creating a project and you want to include diversity and have that as one of your pillars, or something that's important, integral to your project, I think that's important. We should all be thinking about that. There's even things that probably if we were creating Fame Lady Squad from the beginning, that we would have maybe done slightly differently to be more inclusive. But I think it has to come from a genuine place. You have to bring in people, if you're talking about women in general, women, not one shoe fits all, like we're right. So I think just a matter of engaging either advisors, having people on the team, including women somehow in some sort of like strategic or decision-making role in your project. That's going to be really important. And if it's diversity in another way, making sure that it's being done in a real way and not like because it's trendy right now. That's, I think people eventually can see through that, especially if you speaking to it as something that's really important to you. And then of course, engaging the community and the people who buy into your project or the people who are interested and curious, really making the time to have that dialogue with people. And that can look different, right? Whether that's live AMA stuff or just really inviting people to have their say and Twitter, whatever, but really hearing what people are thinking about. And that way you're not pretending to speak through a lens that's not really there. This has been a crazy year. I think for people to really stand out and have sustainable value over time, that authentic piece has to be there, because otherwise you're going to be faking it for a long, long time. No one wants to do that.
No one wants to do that. Let's talk about the future before you wrap up. If I say to you NFT 2024, what are you hopeful for in the next couple of years? What are you driving towards? Whether it's with Fame Lady Squad, your Bored Ape Yacht Club involvement, some other NFT project, real estate. And,
oh my God, you could have me here for like a couple hours talking about all those things. I'm definitely.
This is so good. Did you hear that? Here we are the next couple hours.
I know. So I'm definitely going to be exploring innovation outside of what we think of the NFT space right now. And that's actually that's a big component of the podcast we're going to be launching. So that's our final thing that was on our relaunch roadmap, is to be launching a podcast. It's being professionally framed, and we're looking at our target audience and proper distribution and all this stuff. And Fame Lady Squad's going to be like the supporting project behind it. But really our idea is to empower women in particular getting into the blockchain and NFT environment, start thinking about innovation and how they can start incorporating, for example, this technology into their existing businesses, or how they can build businesses around this technology and get really creative. So we want to create a platform that kind of steers slightly away from the bro culture that we're a little more familiar with, and just create a space. Like, we're going to be talking to lots of guys because there's a lot of guys to talk to that we really want to hear from. But really the idea is to empower people to learn about this space, to not be afraid to like make mistakes. We're all kind of learning and experimenting, I think, at this point. So we want to encourage people to kind of get past that, imposter syndrome, like dive deep in. And so what I'm hoping over the next couple of years is that we see the sort of benefits and the impacts of that type of dialogue, that type of conversation, that type of platform being out there, and hopefully helping support some really amazing entrepreneurs, artists, creatives, developers, all these types of people. So that's kind of our mission. I think Fame Lady Squad is going to be very, very mission driven in this way. Bored Becky, man, she's going to come back. She was like doing her thing on like Instagram, trying to be cool for the masses. And she's going to be doing some fun stuff. I just got to make the time. So stay tuned for Becky. That's why I got to rep her a little bit, because she's been neglected, but Bored Becky's going to be sticking around too. So
everyone that knows Bored Becky loves Bored Becky.
I hope so.
That don't know her, they've just listened to you and they're like, Bored Becky, how did I miss that? I must go find the Instagram channel. So final thing before I wrap up, although you said a couple hours, so I mean, you never know what's going to happen. If you had all the Times Square billboards, you had the 5,000-10,000 people that are coming to visit New York City, you have everybody's attention, and you could say something to all of them. What do you want to say to the NFT community right now?
Oh, I just want to encourage people. I'd say something like build and break things, like learn about NFTs. I actually think it's just about shouting from the mountains that this technology is here to stay. It's going to evolve. I know I'm getting wordy now, but I think what I would really want to do is encourage people to learn about NFTs and go down the rabbit hole. I would probably have an image of Alice going down the rabbit hole, just landing into a bunch of JPEGs, but that it's worth it and it's fun, and that this is a very cool time to be a part of it.
Yes, it is. And we're glad that you're part of NFT NYC. We're so thankful to
Mhm.
have you and all these amazing people join us this year. If you're watching this live or you see the archive of this conversation, we're glad that you found it. I'll be back again with more of these conversations soon. If you don't know me, my name's Ian Utilli. I'm one of the co-producers of NFT NYC, and I am here with Board Becky, Ashley Smith, the steward of the Famed Lady Squad, and so much more. And thank you, Ashley, for joining us. We're really grateful to have you be a part